once again, it has been a good month or so between episodes, and you know how that goes here in this channel at this point. The past several Inner Sanctum episodes have been mostly focused on newer stuff, largely stuff that I had received in trades or stuff people sent me, you know, for review here, and I wanted to kind of turn back the clock a little bit now and talk about some older releases, because I haven't really done that in a long time, but it sure feels like it. I don't know, you tell me, I can't remember anything. Anyway, so we'll get to that in a minute. I also wanted to point out that I just activated this thing on YouTube called Super Thanks, and what it basically is if you like this video, you can donate some money to me. I think it starts in like $2 increments and it goes up to whatever you want. I do monetize these videos, but frankly speaking, I'm lucky if I make even 50 cents on one of these videos. I'm not bullshitting you. So if you like this video, or if you've liked any of the other videos, feel free to donate. Alternatively, of course, I always encourage you to go check out my music on Bandcamp. I don't like really talking about that kind of stuff because I feel like I'm just begging for money, and, you know, it's just, you know, whatever. But obviously any money that would be donated would go back into the channel and my music and the label and all that kind of stuff. So if you like this video or any of the previous videos, you want to go back to them and you want to donate, that'd be awesome. All right, moving on then. We have a beer to drink here as usual. No dark beer. I'm actually really flipping things around here. I'm going to try an IPA today. I don't like IPAs. This is just something my wife bought. It is what was in the fridge and cold. So we're going to try this, and if I make icky faces in a moment, you'll know why. Alright. Here we go. Banger Brewing. Yes. Did I mention I hate IPAs? This is gonna end badly. It smells good though. Tropical beer hug. Cheers then. Yep, that's an IPA. On the plus side, it's 9.9% alcohol, so that's cool. At least I'm gonna have a nice buzz by the time I'm done drinking this. So, cheers to that. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about some music. Let's talk about some music. You don't care about this other stuff I'm talking about. Up first, and already playing in the stereo, is the short-lived side project from Harlif Langhaus from North Holland fame. This is his one and only album they put out under the name Therradaemon, and the album, pardon me, all Norwegian friends if I fuck this up, but the album is called Din Mørke Munens Språk, released by Cyclic Law back in 2011. So you can kind of see the front cover. This is by far the darkest dark ambient that Harlif has ever put out. And in contrast to like North Holland, which has kind of evolved to more of that, I don't know, not melodic sounding, but maybe a little more lighter sounding ambient, if I may say so, on some of the more recent North Holland material. It's, you know, it's not as dark as the earlier stuff or whatever, or dark ambient in general. But I mean, I love North Holland, but this is pure, just dark, abysmal sounding dark ambient, very minimal, very bleak. It has this feeling of just sort of like decay and just nothing, you know. I often will say that a lot of dark ambient has that post-apocalyptic feel. Absolutely, we have that feel here too, but it's very much like, you know, after the dust has settled and humanity has finally killed each other, all that kind of stuff. That's what we got going on here. This is the aftermath, and yeah, this is great stuff. So it's 4 long songs. Each one, the shortest song is 11 minutes, the longest one is 21 minutes, and this is phenomenal stuff, man. I mean, I don't really see a lot of people talking about this. I don't know that I've ever seen really not many people post about it on Instagram or anything like that, but just super dark stuff, super just dark and droney, slowly evolving stuff. Some, you know, kind of more eccentric sounds here and there, which are probably field recordings or stuff like that. But really, really great stuff. An album that I feel deserves more attention, and one that, if you have not heard it, you should definitely check out, especially if you're already a fan of Harlif's various projects, or just Northhawn in general, of course. But yeah, that being said, definitely check this out. So that's, once again, Therradaemon, Din Morke Munins Sprak, Cyclic Law, 2011. Alright then, continuing on, let's talk about Mike VanPortfleet's Beyond the Horizon line. So, Mike VanPortfleet is a name you may be familiar with, and you should be, because Mike VanPortfleet is the original founder and mastermind of the dark wave band Lycia, who, frankly speaking, are one of the most atmospheric and bestest bands ever. Yeah, you should know Lycia. If you don't, shame on you. That being said, this was his debut solo album back in 2004, released on Silber Records. And Silber Records was a record label from North Carolina that sent me quite a few releases back in the early 2000s. Silber put out everything from like dark ambient to like weird acoustic folk stuff to more experimental, eccentric stuff and indie-ish sounding stuff. Interpret however you will what indie means, I guess. That being said, the label is pretty diverse, but they did put out some like dark ambient-ish and drone stuff. And that's certainly where this album falls into that category. So, the best way to describe this album is, this sounds like Lycia, but minus, well, basically with stripping away all of the vocals, percussion, and the more, you know, song-based elements that you would find in Lycia, like the verse, chorus, verse sort of structure. I guess it's more freeform. It's dark ambient. It's drone music. You know what I'm talking about. So, but that being said, it still sounds like Lycia in that it's, you know, Mike's sort of highly atmospheric, heavily processed, drony guitar bits, and it's really, really good. I think one of the most interesting things about Lycia, or you know, Mike VanPortfleet in general, is that he's from, you know, he's from Arizona, or well, Lycia eventually moved to Arizona. They're from Ohio originally, I think. I don't know, but they moved to Arizona later on in the '90s, and I think it's really interesting how outside your fucking window you're gonna have scorching heat basically all year long. I mean, pretty much. I mean, it's okay there in like January, February maybe, but otherwise it's pretty miserable. This is my experience being there. Yeah, but that being said, I think it's really impressive that you have this large amount of heat around you at all times, and you're able to create such dark and cold sounding music. That's really cool to me. I love that a lot. And that's certainly what you get in this record. Very cold and bleak, but still very atmospheric, even kind of emotional sounding, dark ambient drone music. And again, we're talking about, you know, all guitar, this is guitar drone is what it is basically. You know, I don't think any other synthesizers were used. Maybe they were, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really say in the booklet, but you know, that was, I would expect out of Mike, would be, you know, more guitar based drone music. That's what you get here, I guess, hopefully. I don't know. Anyway, I love the second C, Echoes of the Lost Sea, very good song. But or the Call of the Horizon line is really great. Again, that one kind of has that bit of a really has that Lycia feel to it in my estimation. There's that there. Pretty minimal booklet, as you can see there. But yeah, man, this is another one of those albums that, you know, I mean, maybe Lycia fans picked up on this back in 2004, but I think as a whole, this kind of flew over the public radar of most dark ambient drone fans. So that being said, if you've not heard this, dude, you gotta check this out. This is really good stuff. So, oh my god, Mike VanPortfleet, Beyond the Horizon line. Moving on then, let's talk about Aghiatrias' Regions of Lyman, released back in 2004 by Epidemi Records. So Aghiatrias, if I'm even remotely pronouncing that correctly, is a duo of Vladimir Hirsch and Tom Savon from Czech Republic, later on known as Czechia, which was something I only became aware of like in recent years that the country was called Czechia. I don't fucking know why. But anyway, I bought this back, I think right after it came out. I had bought it from the N Records mail order, which the N Records being more of a heavy metal record label and distribution back in the day. They did have some dark ambient stuff. I remember I bought like some Raison Dietra records from them and all that kind of stuff back then too. So they had a really diverse selection of stuff. This I'm almost certain was a blind purchase. It just, the write-up seemed really appealing to me at the time, so I checked it out. And it's an album that has stuck with me, I guess now for 20 years. Look at that. So this is, maybe the best way to describe this album is dark ambient industrial music with some experimental textures and tendencies, although the band prefers the term integrated music project. Yeah. So interpret that as you will. I'm going to call it what I said, and it is really fucking good. So this is a record that certainly maybe will fall more into that kind of industrial ambient or noise ambient side of things. It's definitely not a record like, you know, not one you could sleep on or, you know, meditate, yoga, all that kind of stuff. No, I don't think that's what it's intended for, and I mean, I wouldn't personally. But definitely it's got a lot more kind of noisy and experimental characteristics to it, and there are even some kind of more abrasive tendencies to this album too. But definitely if you're into like industrial ambient, noisy ambient, dude, this is worth listening to. And as long as I've had this album, this is literally the only album I ever heard from this project. I don't know why I never explored more, I guess. I don't know, maybe because no one really talks about this band. And I mean, the project was founded in the late 90s, and it seems like they were active until about 2007, and they haven't released anything since then. But I just looked at their Bandcamp site, and there's a live album from 2023 up there. So I guess the project's still active. I guess they're just, I don't know, on hiatus to some extent. On the flip side of things, Vladimir Hirsch has quite a few other projects too, and he's been releasing solo material under his own name since the late 80s, so he's definitely a veteran of the scene, and probably an artist that, now that I'm talking about this, I should investigate more as well as yourself. Yeah. So there is the front cover, back cover, and it's this really nice, lovely digipack. Don't we all just love digipacks that fold out like that? I know I do. Check that out. Ooh. Yeah. Unlike some other digipacks in my collection, I've managed to keep this one in impeccable condition on like, yeah, almost all of them. So, anyway, oh my god, I'm coughing. Sorry. This review was going so well too. Check out fuck it, I don't know how to pronounce it. Oh, it tastes repugnant, but I'm getting a nice buzz, so I guess that's worth something. Moving on, let's talk about V.O.S. and their one and only studio album, Veil of Secrecy. So Veil of Secrecy, or just V.O.S. if you please, was a short-lived project from Stephen Hall, who was one half of the duo that's known as Yenpox, which you may have heard of. If not, again, change that. Yenpox is great. Veil of Secrecy was a project that he did from, I think, like 1999 to about 2004. And during that time period, he put out this one studio album, he put out a live recording, and then he put out another record that was basically like a remixed mishmash of those live recordings. So 3 releases altogether, and then he had some compilation tracks as well. And as far as I can tell, the band ceased to exist after that, and then he went back to, you know, doing music with Yenpox, but Yenpox only puts out a new album every 15 years, so yeah, I guess he's not really doing a lot of music. That being said, Veil of Secrecy, this album was released by Triumvirate Records back in 2001, and that was a record label that used to send me quite a bit of stuff back in the day as well. It was a label that existed from 2000 to 2004, and it put out like dark ambient, death industrial, noise, experimental stuff, all that kind of good stuff. It's a label that I wish at the time I was into the more you know, abrasive kind of ambient and industrial music, because I've gone back and listened to some of the records that they sent me that I've subsequently sold like 20 years ago, and I'm like, fuck me, this is a really good album. Especially the label boss, he had his project was called Law, and another one called Citadel, which was just fantastic stuff. I had all of their albums because he sent them to me for review, and I sold them. I don't know why. They're so good. Look that up too. Anyway, V.O.S. Secrecy is dark ambient, very minimal, very almost quiet sounding dark ambient, in that there's not really a whole lot going on, and that's sort of how Yenpox kind of operates too, I guess, maybe to some extent. Very minimal sounding stuff. This isn't a great departure from that sound either. But, you know, still very atmospheric, very dark and ominous stuff. Certainly a record you could relax or chill on while listening to it, or reading, or whatever your mode of relaxation is, or however you enjoy dark ambient music for that matter. I don't know, everyone's different when it comes to that stuff. I was ripping out carpet out of a part of my house once listening to dark ambient, so you pick and choose your adventure with dark ambient. Yes, please. So anyway, Veil of Secrecy. Yeah, this is good stuff, man. This is kind of a record that I feel like it's minimal, so it's been kind of overlooked over the years, but it's, you know, it's like one of those if you know, you know kind of things. Yeah. That being said, I'm fairly certain you can go and buy this album on Discogs right now for under $10, like maybe even like $5. Or if you're not into physical, he's got a Bandcamp site too with all the archive materials. It's definitely worth looking out for. But as you know, already stated, it's minimal dark ambient, and you know, don't expect a lot of thrills or spills or action in this release. It's chill stuff, just again, as Yenpox kind of is. So yeah, there is the front cover of Veil of Secrecy's album. And I think I have the tray card in backwards, so take that. There's that. Oh wait, I don't know what I just showed there. If it was up, whatever. Yeah. Is there a booklet? Yes, there is a booklet. Wonderful. If I can get the bloody thing out, I will show you. And hey, look at that! So much happening in the booklet. Yeah. But yeah, good stuff, man. You know, again, you know, it's not gonna, you know, blow you away with excitement or anything. But if you just need some really minimal stuff, like I said, you can just card this off of Discogs for like $5-6 right now. Do it! Cheers, everyone, and thank you for watching the Inner Sanctum. We have one more album to talk about. Let's talk about Selo Vatra's Ret Sevra album from 2013, released by Noctilucant Records. So Noctilucant is a label that I know very well, having released a couple of my own records on the label in the past, and it is a label that you should know. I feel like I've been doing that a lot in this episode. You should know this stuff. Why don't you? Maybe you do, and I'm just talking shit. I don't know. Anyway, Noctilucant has over the years kind of become well known for releasing a lot of dark, ritualistic, dark ambient drone music. And I don't know if that was the intention from the beginning, but that's definitely what the label has really put out over the years. Maybe it was just like a thing where like they released some ritualistic stuff and then it just sort of became like, hey, let's send our stuff to that label because they're going to release it because they really like the dark ritualistic stuff. I don't know, but that's certainly what the label's become well known for. And something else the label is certainly well known for is they usually put out all their releases in these sort of, you know, cardboard or paper, you know, thinner digipacks, if you want to call them that, I guess. They usually come in a plastic sleeve and all that kind of stuff. This is one of the older releases, one of the first releases, not maybe the first, but on the early releases that the label put out. And it must be one of the best-selling ones, too, because it was later on re-released in 2021. So, Selo Vatra. The best way to describe this stuff is Yes, very much a ritualistic dark ambient, or maybe it's even just ritualistic music in general. Very occult sounding, I would say. Frankly speaking, I have no idea what Selo Vatra or Vatra means. I tried Googling it and it just brought up Bandcamp sites, so I don't know. But guessing from the artwork, which is also fantastic, it may have some relation to, pagan beliefs. Perhaps that's Morrigan, or the crone of war. I don't know, but I love the packaging here. Really cool artwork, and within there's also this sort of booklet, if you will, I guess. Let's unfold and show that. You can see that. Really cool. Yeah. All of the members, they have this sort of, I don't know, like these ritualistic masks and stuff that would appear that they wore for live performances, and it kind of gives off that sort of, I don't know, Wicker Man kind of vibe, of course. I like that a lot. I love the old Wicker Man movie from back in the early 70s. That's really a favorite of mine. I love it. So it kind of has that vibe. That's kind of the vibe you get throughout this record. It has that sort of occulty, pagan, ritualistic vibe to it, and it has more of a dark ambient undercurrent, whereas like the percussion, the ritualistic and hypnotic percussion and other sounds are more in the forefront. And the other kind of interesting thing about this record is, as far as I can tell, no synthesizers were used. And there's a lot of instruments that, frankly speaking, you don't see in dark ambient a lot. Here's the instruments they used. Vocals, breath, horns, harmonica, pan flute, rain stick, maracas, hammer and sword, element water, drums, percussion, other drums, digital effects. Okay, maybe there was some synthesizers, whatever. More vocals, bass guitars, ebow guitars, violin, and more drums. So, yeah, a lot more diverse, instrumentation than your typical dark ambient release. That's for sure. And it's not by any means like a typical dark ambient record either. It's very ritualistic. It's something that's, you maybe want to, meditate while listening to, or assuming this is more pagan related stuff, and it might be something to listen to when you're drawing runes and stuff like that, and all that kind of stuff. Or if you do tarot readings or something, I don't know. Again, going back to what I said earlier in the episode, you pick and choose how you like to listen to and enjoy your dark ambient music. But yeah, really interesting record. Definitely worth looking up if you've never heard it. Yeah, quite unique and special, really. That being said, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Inner Sanctum. I hope you've enjoyed this. I also wanted to apologize for my small political rant in the previous episode. It seems I triggered some people and pissed them off, and I'm assuming they've probably now unsubscribed from the channel. I don't regret what I said. Let's just put that into perspective and make that obvious here. But what I do regret is saying it here. This channel isn't about politics. It's not about, me versus you, your politics. It's not about that. It's about dark ambient and, post-industrial music. So if I pissed anyone off, I apologize for that. But, I'll be a total cunt and say that I do feel very passionate about what I said. And I'm making an entire album for Sonic Oscillation centered around those themes too. So I know, every, I'm not going to go into this because I'll just sit here and talk for 20 minutes. Anyway, thank you for watching the Inner Sanctum. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you know some of these albums, I'd love to hear your opinion. If you intend to buy these based on what I just said, well, fuck yeah, that's awesome. I hope you enjoy them, and I will see you soon. Hopefully, I got always more cool stuff to talk about. I hope you enjoy this, and if you want to check out that super thanks thing that's down there somewhere, hit that button. Give me a couple bucks if you think this video is worth a couple bucks. If not, well, fuck me, I guess, and I'll just keep doing what I'm doing and see you later. Alright, take care. Bye.